Hi, everyone. I don't know if people can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Thank you guys all for coming. And Danae and I, we really were trying to get our technical. We're creative people. We're not tech, okay? So when we get world famous, we're gonna have tech people like being part of our little event. We're gonna let everybody kind of like get into place and get started. Not get started, but get settled in. Danae she's living a glamorous life. She's on a beach somewhere. I'm always so jealous. All of her pictures, she's on the beach. She's on the beach, like hanging out, and I'm in suburbia. Makes me miss Los Angeles. But we're letting everybody get situated and settled in. I'm actually gonna look on my phone, see how it looks so far. I totally love, oh, sorry, let me do this. I gotta put myself on mute. Isn't it funny? I'm watching myself. It's like some kind of meta thing. Okay. So am I like the big person on here now? I think I am. All right. So I'm thinking everybody is here, and I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything like that, but you guys can ask the questions afterwards, after I interview Danae, because she's cool and I want to like interview her and all that stuff. So the name of this book is called What Every Child Should Know. I am, hold on, let me do something really quick. I am the author and Danae is the illustrator. This is our little character. I call her Sky. And it's published by Sanctuary Publishers. And see this little symbol? They're it's not in here, but it's like an anti-oppression, vegan, just social justice oriented press. And for me, for this book, it was so important to have a press that had politically the same ideas and values that I have. So I was so happy to find this press publisher, Sanctuary Publishers, and to find Julia. And I think what's very funny is that Julia is very like, well, I didn't think you would want to talk to me. And I'm like, that's outrageous. You're like a legend. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to start. All right, what every child should know. What every child should know. You are loved dearly by someone, maybe the someone reading you this book right now. See? And that's Sky and her dad. And these are dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs. What every child should know. Cooperation is better than competition. Helping people and accepting help is how we build community with others. When we work together, we grow stronger. Look. And the two chickens, 1, 2, and the dog. And we have all of our people helping each other and making a garden. We have mom and dad. Look at that. What every child should know. Workers around the world help keep communities safe and clean. They all deserve fairness, equality, and respect. So I want you to see all this. We have a teacher, the 1619 project, she's teaching. We have an astronaut. We have an artist. We have a parent. We have a musician. We have a bicycle messenger. We have a paramedic. We have a mice catcher. And we have an illustrator. So cute. That all of their jobs are important. There's no such thing as one job is better than the other. Everybody needs it. Everybody's job is important and they're all needed. What every child should know. Science is real. Not knowing can kill. Look at the pretty fishes and turtles. And it's so cute. Look, all of those. I love this. I love this. And you know, she's wearing a mask. She's wearing a mask. You know why she's wearing a mask? Because she's in water and that keeps her safe. But you know, because of COVID-19, you should always have your mask on too. So, because science is real and not knowing can kill or make you very, very, very sick. What every child should know. Clean water is life. The healthy earth, trees, rivers, and oceans keep us alive. Take care of them and they will take care of us. Look, you know, because we can't just keep drilling and drilling, you know, drilling for pipes and destroying our water and destroying our water sources and fracking and all those kinds of things. I mean, I think the great thing about this book is that you can use it to talk about all of the topics that are going on in our world and all across the United States and even the world. Yeah, I like the eagles and I like the beavers here. What every child should know. All women are women, all men are men, non-binary people are neither, while other people are both. When people tell you who they are, respect them. When people tell you who they love, accept them. And these are my two grannies, partners, and my non-binary sibling. But this is a picture I love. I love this picture. This intersectionality. Civil rights. Yes, they've been a couple for a very long time. And a cat. That's one of my favorite, well, I love cats. What every child should know. Racism is real. Even though there's no superior race, embrace equality in every space. When you see something wrong and silently ignore it, you support it. Take a stand to always speak up against injustice. See, this is an incident where people are calling the police saying they're calling someone because they're intolerant. So you have to stand up when you see things like that, you know? You're never too little to stand up for justice. Never. See, look how little she is, but she's standing up. And also, too, there's lots of ways to stand up. Look, she's being supportive friend. What every child should know. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. People of African descent are mistreated around the world. Black lives matter is a reminder that Black lives should matter as much as everyone else. Because there have been incidents in the UK and in Canada and in France and all over. So I love the fact that we are trying to bring the diaspora, African diaspora all around and be inclusive of that struggle, because it's not one country, it's a global struggle. What every child should know. Eagles see no borders. No person is illegal. No court should get to decide who is welcome, when, and where they can reside. This picture made me very, very sad, because even right now, there are kids that are being taken to jail because they are undocumented. And they might call it different things, but you shouldn't put people, jail's a bad thing, and ICE is not a good department. We don't need it. This doesn't need to happen, and we need to talk about it and inform people in all communities that this is happening so we can stop it from happening, okay? What every child should know. Women's rights are human rights. Yeah. Your gender doesn't dictate what you like, what you can do, or who you love. That's right. We can all accept everyone, how they are, and also don't limit people, but also whatever they want to do, that's what they can do. There is no role that you have to be in owing to your gender or your assigned identity. You can be whoever you want to be. What every child should know. Not all wounds are visible. Not every sickness comes with a sneeze. Whether you can see someone's illness or not, help all people in their time of need. A lot of African Americans or people of African descent have lupus. And so this little girl has lupus, and that's a little butterfly that you have on your face sometimes if you have lupus. And of course, this little girl, she has both of her legs, and she's skateboarding. And I love her shirt and her glasses. What every child should know. Autism is not a disease. It's part of human neurodiversity. Do not assume that everyone is the same or should act the same as you. And as you know, autism is some people. There are people who are autistic who are of all genders. It's not a specific gender, and it's not a specific race. Just like there are people who are shy of all genders. There are people who are talkative of all genders. There are people who are autistic of all genders and races. This is just a list of some of the things you should know. As you grow, you'll see that your list too will grow. There is always more for a child and a grown-up to know and learn. Look at that. The end. Oh my goodness, I got lipstick on, at least this is my book, so I got lipstick on my book. But that is the end of this story. And now, I hope you guys enjoyed that. You can ask questions later. But I'm hoping Danae comes back on. Where are you, Danae? Have her come back on to us. Oh my goodness, you're outside.
Yay.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
So I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Okay. First off, what's the temperature out there right now?
I have no idea, like 30 something.
It's beautiful. So I'm just like, I have to say that when I wrote this book, and in regards to being an illustrator, I didn't think I could get Danae to do this, because Danae is like, she's a political artist and she's super busy. So I was like, oh my goodness, you can do this. And she was just like, oh, okay. I felt very lucky. Sometimes you have to wait like a year to get the illustrator that you want. So I kind of want to go back in time, Danae. So when did you decide that you want to be an illustrator?
I was just talking about it with a friend, about representation.
Okay.
But when I saw cartoons when I was little, there's this business called Hanna-Barbera, which is the last names of I forgot the name, animators. But I didn't know, so I thought it was a woman called Ana Barbera in Spanish, right?
Yeah.
So I always thought it was like this woman who was doing all this shit. So for me, it was like, oh, this is something that women do. And then it turned out it wasn't. But for me, it was my own representation. So I thought, oh, yeah, that's what I want to do, like this lady called Ana Barbera. So, yeah, that's funny.
That actually is funny. But, I mean, it just shows you kind of like, oh, I didn't know that that's something. Because now it's kind of like this thing where it's like, oh, it's unusual to have a woman illustrator. But because of because you didn't know, it just made you think like, this is something I should be doing. Why should I not be doing this? So a lot of people, I don't think they realize or think of it in this term, but do you think art is political?
Of course, yes.
Do you think you could do art that's not political, or not you, but I'm saying, do you think any art is not political, or do you think there's some people, is it
I think even if they don't try to make it political, in a way it is political, you know, it's because it has some meaning. The context is political. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was a totally a leading question, because that's my whole issue with with children's literature. I'm like, it is all political. Can't you guys see that this is a political? They're pushing like, you know, authoritarianism. They're pushing. I mean, I was talking about William Bennett, and this is in the United States. He was the czar of education, or what Betty DeVos is now for people who are in the United States, and he had this idea of everyone shouldn't go to college. Essentially, he was talking about Black and Chicano and Native Americans shouldn't go to college, and erasing public schools. And he does children's books. He edits children's books. And so when people go, oh, it's not political, I'm like, the right totally understands. You start indoctrinating these children very, very early. And so we have to really be aware of that. So I appreciate that. Okay, I have a question, because I you know, this is a challenge a lot of people have, because I was very kind of like, you know, I like cute characters when I like cute characters, but I want to look like the people. And I thought you did a really good job. Are there challenges drawing other cultures, like that are not your culture? Like, is it a challenge, like when you're drawing another ethnicity? I mean, is there anything special that you do, or?
Well, I cannot base my drawings on pictures. Sorry, there's so much noise. There's a motorcycle. Yeah, so there's before starting making all those drawings, I checked all these images, so I was kind of based on them, and it's cartoon characters, so there's not much you can do, you know. There's one kind of nose, some were a little bit bigger, but yeah, it's also kind of funny, because sometimes I redraw the same thing like 20 times, and I will draw it like, I don't know, it's not like what I want to do, so I did it again, a little bit up, a little bit down, until I found like what I wanted to portray.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. What I liked about the drawings that you did, and I know this sounds really bizarre, is that I liked that she looks like a little Black girl that's in the U.S. that's like to me. Okay, I just saying. Growing up as a kid, there are books, and they'll have a little Black girl, and they'll always have all this hair. And they'll have this, and I'm like, that's not, I mean, I'm not saying that people don't look like that, but that's not like, not that everybody looks like that. And there's a particular look, and I was very like, you know, when I was talking to you, I was very much like, I wanted to look like a little Black girl. I'm not saying that these people don't look Black, but I wanted to be like, not like, what is she? I wanted to have that. I mean, and the thing is that in a way is kind of a, I don't know, I think it kind of speaks to the whole anti-Blackness across, even when you have Black, and the thing is, to me, I read this book as a book for everyone, and, you know, but I still wanted to kind of like have that aspect, because I kind of feel like it's kind of revolutionary in a way, you know, that she has short hair, that she's, you know, person of African descent. But another question is, you know, I think you did a really good job. I thought, you know, everybody was, well, you know, what, you not being exclusively in the US, you kind of go all over the world. I mean, you're very international. You're in Argentina, you're in Mexico, you're in Spain, you're everywhere. How in regards to justice, how does it get interpreted differently in the United States in comparison to other places? Because you do a lot of political work with your drawing. Is it different when you're like, were you thinking I'm drawing for an international audience, or were you thinking I'm drawing for a US audience? Or do you think on those terms? Are you just international, so you don't even think like that anymore?
Well, actually, I wasn't real. I was just doing something I liked.
Yeah.
I wasn't particularly thinking about. But I do think that in other countries, people still don't talk enough about race and about a lot of different issues. So they might find some illustrations a little bit. I talked about that with you and Julia about maybe this is too radical. Maybe I should change, but it's nice. We decided to keep, like, for example, the illustration about the little girl, about immigration.
Yes.
At the beginning, it was supposed to be like a happy scene with a family, and it turned out like that. And that's my favorite one. But we know not everybody like appreciates it, or not everybody will like their kids to see that, the emotions, right? So, but we decided it was worth it to.
Well, I'm about to say that picture is weird. Yes, I mean, I remember we're kind of like, we're not sure like what's going to happen. I mean, that picture actually makes me so sad. I mean, because it's so like, it's so happening now. It's like foreboding. It's so, and like I said, I remember like, it's so bizarre. Like, I know I'm like, I have a happy face all the time, but when I saw that picture, I was always like, I always want to cry. I'm always like, this is, and the thing is that, because I don't think, how can we respectfully show this thing that's happening right now? I mean, when I saw a little kid, and this is like I said, when I saw a little kid and she had on a gray sweatsuit and they were introducing her to her mother, like, because they had separated them at the border, I was like, oh my God, these people are monsters. What is wrong with them? I was very, very upset. I wanted to really, I really was glad that we were able to show that in a way that I think is going to be impactful to people. And I hope impactful to people who are in their classrooms. But also another thing I really wanted to show is, and the thing is that race is so different across, it's so different across, not across nations. Like, what is white, what is Black, what is indigenous? It's a whole different thing. And it's not like one is right or one is wrong. But I think one thing I think we did a great job with is I want to show cross-cultural solidarity, and not so much the American, like, it's kind of like very much a lot of times when we talk about diversity in the United States, was always like the relationship to the white American. It's like person of color, like whatever you are, like, okay, you're Black, your relationship to white people. Oh, you're Asian, your relationship to white people. Oh, you're, so it's like, wow, we can't even have a conversation amongst ourselves. And I mean that's the whole thing. I mean, it's like, like my family, number one, it's international, but we have different people. But even if that was not the case, I was kind of like, okay, if you have a couple, you want to show, that it was an Asian and African woman as the parents, like, oh, like, because it's always very much like, oh, it's a white guy, or the mom is white. And I'm not saying that that has been really done to death. And I think even if you look at like statistics, that's not even like the most common pairing. You look at cultures, you look at people who are Puerto Rican or Cuban. You have families that are African and European, and they're like together. And it's like, you don't really even think about that. You have people who are Cuban and they're Chinese. You have all of these things going on, but you don't really see that represented. So I think like for us to be on that same kind of like wavelength, to think like international, but think like, yes, we were talking about racial diversity, but we're also talking about policy and things like that. And because that's kind of your you know.
Yeah, and it represents us, you know. Also, like that's the cool thing about Sanctuary Publishers. It's like it reflects us. It's not like white people and us. It's us doing the work. It's us drawing. It's us writing. It's us publishing. So of course, our work represents us, and that's amazing. Yeah.
And I know that you work with Sanctuary Publishing a lot, but I mean, do you want to like tell me anything else about, you know, your experience in publishing, you know, being part of Sanctuary Press, being part of the graphic design team, anything you want to share, just because it's kind of like you're kind of maybe like inspirational to other people. So anything, you know, tips, like ideas, like what's your mission statement?
Sincerely, I don't know much. Like 10 years ago, I did this this course in Spain for drawing children's books, and I've been really interested in that since then. But I don't know much. I'm very into indie publishing, into doing things ourselves. So I mean that's what I've been very happy with what we've done. But I don't really have much experience.
I know I'm like asking you all these questions. I'm just trying to say, does anybody on, I'm trying to look if you might have any questions in the comments. Does anybody have any questions in the comments that they want to ask me, Lark, or Danae? Anybody? No? Okay. I'm gonna wait to see if somebody wants to, like, if there's any questions or comments. Nope. Okay. So I want to thank you, Danae, for taking a little bit of time off from your very busy schedule. No, it wasn't a hurricane or anything like that there. That was in Florida.
Yeah, no, there's one coming, but not yet, not here yet.
I didn't realize hurricanes were such a frequent thing, you know, from California where there's no weather. So I'm always like, hurricane, what is going on? Why is there a hurricane like all, and why are you guys so casual about it? I always think hurricane, I think, you know, Wizard of Oz, house going up, and then, you know, you landing in some other universe. So apparently that doesn't happen, right? So there's no chance of that happening, that you ended up. So I'm gonna make you sure. Okay, all right, so that is it. Everybody, thank you so much. We appreciate you for sitting and hanging out with us for a little bit. So you guys have a nice rest of your evening or afternoon, wherever you are. And make sure to buy the book, buy several copies and give it to your friends for the holidays. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.